Welcome to the Barrhaven Tennis Club, the site of the men's championship or the tournament championship of the 8th annual Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tournament. Hi everybody, Dan Mooney alongside Matt Levrisen for this one. A big, great final coming up. Number 7 seed Joe Willemsen going up against the number 2 seed Grant Gibson.
Absolutely. Both guys have very great contrasting styles. Both love to play the ball from the baseline. Both have big, powerful serves that are also very reliable. One-hand backhands, both these guys, everything about these guys matches up really well. I'm really excited for today.
Grant Gibson, the former club pro here at the Barrhaven Tennis Club, going up against the guy who is part of the fabric of this hard court surface here at Barrhaven, Joe Willemsen.
Yes, Joe, he runs the camps here, the summer camps here at the Barrhaven Tennis Club, which I can attest to is no easy feat. He is an incredibly kind person, an incredible mind at tennis, very smart gentleman. So it'll be interesting again to see, what kind of game plan this guy comes in with, knowing how intelligent he can be on the court.
It's a really warm day in the middle of a heat wave here in the nation's capital. Temperature around 36 degrees with the humidex, and on this fast hard court surface, how is the heat going to play with these two players?
It's going to really help increase the pace of the ball. Without that cold air, there's no wind here as well. It's a dead air. The humidity is going to help, very similar to the way it does in Australia, where the ball flies. So add that with these very quick courts, it's going to play almost like a grass court in terms of the pace of the ball.
Grant Gibson, excuse me, folks, a little sweat running in my eye. It's rather warm here on these hard courts. We are going to be sheltered by a tent a little bit later on, but that's just this particular facility and the people that put this tournament together on an annual basis do so in benefit of the Canadian Tire Jumpstart program. And it's a program that benefits underprivileged kids and allows them to get involved in sport. That's the reason why this tournament was put together in Phil LeBlanc's memory 8 years ago. Elizabeth Zogalis was at the barbecue a week ago, the opening barbecue, and she found out just a little bit more about what makes this tournament tick.
The Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tournament is held every year in honor of a familiar name in the local tennis community. Phil LeBlanc was an avid tennis instructor with the National Tennis School for 11 years before his life was cut short after a tragic car accident. His energy and his passion for tennis made him a favorite among his many students.
He loved playing teaching with the kids during the camp, as we've mentioned every year with the tournament. Actually, they would have kids who'd sign up for 1 week, and then after they were done the week, they would actually come back a second, a third, or fourth, and sometimes after they'd outgrew it, they'd come back as instructors because they knew Phil was actually there.
The tournament has come a long way since 2009 when it first began. Now, 8 years later, it's grown in popularity and has evolved over time.
The first volunteer shirt that we had, and there was only 3 sponsors on there. You fast forward to now, and we have about 18 to 20 sponsors per year, usually, who are willing to give us donations for events like this. As well, at the start, we only had a draw of 32, where we barely stretched with 32, to now we're at a draw of 48, and we have a spares list of at least 10 to 12. So it just keeps increasing.
If you know the LeBlanc family, they're really, really good people. They're humble people, and the growth has really happened organically. So I'll go around the city and, maybe I'm playing against a player for another club or in another tournament, and they'll even ask me about this tournament now and say, what's that about?
To date, the tournament has raised close to $20,000 to help spread Phil's passion for tennis for those who may not have had the opportunity to play the sport.
We've created an endowment fund with the Community Foundation of Ottawa, and so it generates interest every year, and we donate the interest generated from the fund to the Canadian Tire Jumpstart program. It's to help kids who are disadvantaged, and Philip would be very happy how we're using the money.
The week-long tournament kicks off with a barbecue, exhibition, games, and entertainment. But for many, it's an opportunity to talk about Phil and remember him where he was the happiest.
It's amazing that we have so many sponsors now supporting this event, and also, we were doing the grocery shop for for instance, today for all the food for the barbecue. And this woman who was helping us out, you know, it turns out she knew Phil, and she said, of course you'll have a beautiful day. He was the brightest light in this place. And it's just amazing to see the support and how much people give to this event because they knew Phil and because they loved Phil just like we did.
For Rogers TV, I'm Elizabeth Ogalis.
Phil LeBlanc, inspiration to many here at the Barrhaven Tennis Club. Well loved and well remembered. The first serve of the championship for the 2016 edition of the Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tournament comes up after the break. You're watching Rogers Television.
This program is brought to you in part by Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. Gabriel Pizza, 310-7777, or GabrielPizza.com.
No makeup, no clothes. Deja vu.
Ottawa Experts, a weekly show that explores topics for your business, lifestyle, and expanding consciousness. Join me, Moni Dujeji, Tuesday nights at 8 p.m. on Rogers TV.
Do you find that fulfilling? Many women and one-night stands?
I don't know. Why?
I think you should come to a party.
I ain't never seen anything like this before, sir. Well, it's wartime, son.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh. Back at you, babe.
Only 1 in 100 is going to get on that ark, son. And every other poor soul's going to drown.
Call 1-888-ROGERS-1 to order.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Anderson.
And I'm Allison Schaefer. I'm excited to tell you that the Parenting Show is back. That means an opportunity to answer your parenting questions.
Yes, tune in to our 4-part series about parenting. That's only on Rogers TV.
Welcome back to the Barrhaven Tennis Club for the final of the 8th annual Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament. Hard court, Dan Mooney alongside Matt Levryson and our entire Rogers TV crew. Very pleased that you could join us for this one. A really, really hot day and two very, very solid baseline players. This should be a really, really interesting match.
Absolutely. There's very little to differentiate between these two guys. It's going to come down mainly to who's fitter. Especially on a hot day like this, both of you guys have already played another match in the day. And whoever comes out and executes a better game plan, whether that be attacking the backhand or, big serving volleys, we're going to have to wait and see.
Joe Willemsen played a 3-set semifinal this morning to get into the final. He had a bye in the first round, defeated Harry Crawford, Love. Nick Patterson in the second round, 2-1. Joel Mark had to retire in the second set and then knocked off the number 1 seed Kyle Malone, Love, 4-6 and 3. To get to the final this morning. And Grant Gibson also had a bye in the first round, but he has only lost 9 games this entire tournament without losing a set.
He's been absolutely clinical so far in this tournament, and it has to do a lot with his technique and his intelligence out there on the court. He knows what he needs to do in a match and how to get out there and beat the guys he needs to beat.
We are just about set to go. The chair umpire, Mark Armstrong. You see him, and Grant Gibson has won the toss, and he is elected to serve first here to start off the championship final of the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament.
Grant Gibson to serve.
Gibson into the tape, and now trailing Love 15. First unforced error of the match on the first point. Flat first service.
First serve.
When they were warming up, did you see anything that would indicate that either one of these players is laboring at all?
Outside of a couple of volley errors from Joe, nothing that I can tell right away. These guys probably definitely took a nap before the game over here, but we'll see as the match progresses.
Love 30. And another unforced error by Gibson, and he's looking at the game point here. And the first break of the match. And Joe Willemsen able to break in the opening match of this 2016 championship. Joe Willemsen just content to play the baseline and get the ball over. Grant Gibson making 4 unforced errors, and those were the 4 points in the game.
Yeah, Joe Willemsen clearly sharper to start off the match. It's interesting to see Grant's really trying to come in and attack that backhand. And so far, Joe said, let's go. Let's see see how long you prep the backhand before you have to go somewhere else. His backhand may not be very offensive, but it is incredibly consistent and forces you to hit good shots. And so we saw Grant already try the backhand down the line after a few forehands to Joe's backhand. So we'll see if he makes any adjustments here in the second game. Strong serve.
Great first serve.
Yeah.
Grant Gibson off to a slow start here in the final. And first mistake by Willemsen going for the lunge.
Expect to see a lot of serve and volley from Joe today.
Oh, great pass by Gibson to lead 15-30.
Really had to work for that point.
Top spin forehand.
Absolutely, a couple of Nadal swings.
And a little too much spin on that that serve from Joe Willemsen. Now 30-30.
So I noticed a lot from the semifinal. A lot of the high serves to Grant's backhand he does struggle with. So something to keep an eye out for.
Joe Willemsen not having a lot of success thus far on first serve.
No, it's white. 30-40.
30-40. So in our second game, first game, Willemsen broke Gibson. Now Gibson looking to repay the favor. Oh, Willemsen took him out wide and got him with the overhand smash.
It appears to me so far Joe's definitely the sharper of the two.
Deuce.
See if you can get that first serve back in order here.
First serve. First serve.
Come on. Great drop shot at the net as Gibson comes up from the baseline to take advantage
That whole
of
point
Joe
was,
Willemsen.
That whole point was built off of a really nice on-the-run backhand. He's able to turn that into a net approach and hit a gorgeous volley.
Add Gibson. These guys are not going to overwhelm you with the serve, but the ground strokes are just so good. That one jumped right into the body, and Gibson couldn't handle it. Deuce number 2.
Backhand return is definitely liability from Grant.
Double fault. First of the afternoon for Joe Willemsen.
Expect to see a serve to Grant's backhand. He wants to see if he can't get a free point after giving a free point to Grant. There it was. Fortunately, he missed it. See what he can do on the second.
See Gibson move up a little bit in the court to take this second serve. Double faulted again the second time, so 2 games, 2 breaks.
Both guys definitely feeling it from the morning matches, taking a little bit extra time to get the feeling. Although these 2 guys both big enough servers that once they get that serve going, it's going to be points are going to come quick and furious for these guys.
So serve, really not an issue at this point. 1 game apiece. Opening set. Unforced errors starting to mount up a little for Grant Gibson, and he's even calling the ball girl by her name. Grant Gibson used to be the club pro here at the Barhaven Tennis Club. Oh, Willemsen came up to try and challenge that second serve, and he hit it into the net.
He may hit that with the net, but he's definitely sending a message. Grant's second serve is not his strongest shot, so that's a great message sent by Joe. Saying, I'm going to come up and I'm going to attack that second serve if you just float it in there. And you see it already got into Grant's head. Feel like he needed to put a little bit extra on that second serve, and he shot it out wide. Or long, sorry.
I should get a first serve in. I like second serve.
Both players laboring with that first serve early in the match, and the first double fault of the match by Gibson.
15-40.
So we could have another break here. Willemsen 1 for 1 on break points thus far. And another unforced error by Gibson. And now Willemsen 2 for 2 on break points, and he leads the set 2 games to 1. Nobody can hold here.
It's interesting. Usually when you got 2 guys like this that like to play this kind of offense and you have 3 straight breaks, 99.9% of the time it's because either one or both guys are really not quite feeling it yet. When you utilize a lot of that energy early in the day and you've kind of got to muster up a second wind, it takes a little while longer than these guys are probably used to. And in the past, Gibson has had a history with slow starts, and the timing, especially so far on the forehand, the timing isn't quite there, and he needs it to be. He needs that forehand to be on today if he wants any chance of winning.
Joe Willemsen, you might be sitting in your living room saying that sounds like a really familiar name here on Rogers TV. John Willemsen, Joe's brother, now working in Toronto with a major sports network. John, good tennis player himself, has played in this tournament before with Joe. in doubles as well.
Love 15.
Little long
That's
by
a-
Willemsen.
That's the point where if you get into that second set, I'm sure these guys will start making that. That's still a sign of a little bit of fatigue and rest.
Gibson still guessing a little.
Absolutely. He's got to, a couple of times he's been out front of that second serve on the backhand. That time he was out in front. A couple of times he's been late, so he's still got to try to find that timing. There you go.
In or out?
15-30.
15-30, it was in. So Gibson coming to the net once again, been successful so far on 2 occasions.
Out of the 3.
All.
30 apiece here in this opening set of the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tournament. Both players having difficulty with serve. 3 breaks. That was wide, so now
40-30.
Joe Willemsen has an opportunity to serve out this game here and take a 3-1 lead.
Really see Grant definitely attacking that backhand, and it has not quite worked out for him yet. Start to wonder maybe if he was going to make a strategy change soon.
Great return of serve by Grant Gibson.
Definitely found the timing on that one.
Advantage, Willemsen.
So Willemsen with the advantage here after going to deuce for the second consecutive game of his service. Players, you notice there's no umpires on the lines. Players using the honesty policy. Oh, great winner down the line. The top spin backhand.
No, I think that one was out.
It was
Just
out.
a little
So,
bit wide, yeah.
So another win for Joe Willemsen.
Game, Willemsen.
And he leads 3-1 now. And this is exactly what he did against Kyle Malone.
Yep.
Just chip away, and make the other player make the mistakes.
Absolutely. He's definitely taking advantage of the slow start by Gibson.
Wonderful lob.
Love it.
4th winner of the match for Grant Gibson, though he trails 3-1. That's wide.
30 love.
Grant may have those 4 winners, but he's also piling up a ton of unforced errors in search of those winners. So winners are fun and dandy when they happen, but it's got to be backed up with more and more winners. You can't have too many enforced.
What a great get. And Willemsen tries to spin and do the overhand.
40 love.
40 love. Gibson.
This would be a big mental victory for Gibson if he can get a quick hold here.
Long. 40-15. Nine unforced errors. Matt mentioned that category. 5 for Willemsen. Oh, great pass by Willemsen.
40-30.
You can see he does absolutely have the ability when he wants to play offense with that forehand. We'll see maybe later on in the match we might see a little bit more of that as the heat starts getting to him. But wonderful forehand.
Oh, right into the net, Gibson.
Deuce.
And we're at deuce again.
You know, at 40 love I mentioned, you know, the big mental win for Grant to get that quick hold, and this would be the exact opposite. Nice.
First ace of the match goes to Grant Gibson. Willemsen knew as soon as he hit it that one was into the net. And game Gibson. So 3-2 now as Gibson holds serve. And we take another break. So far, other than the unforced errors and this feeling out process, is this pretty much what you expected to see, Matt?
No, actually, I was expecting Willemsen to come out a little bit slower. He definitely had the more physically taxing match, going 3 sets earlier this morning. Now, I'm looking at the stats right now, and it's clear to me with fewer winners, but at the same time, much fewer unforced errors, that Willemsen's playing much more defensively than Grant. And it's working out quite well. However, it is incredibly hot out here today, so one has to wonder how long he can keep that defense up before he has to start playing maybe a little bit more offense to end points quicker.
36 degrees with the Humidex today on this hard court surface, which, again, is a conductor of heat. It's 5 to 6 degrees hotter, so we're thinking 41, 42 out there in the sunshine, and these guys are running around. Just, this is a prize fight so far.
Absolutely. It's really interesting to see how those guys handle it. So far, I think Grant's got the better idea of playing more offense, and eventually I'm sure he's going to get a little bit more, the time is going to come back to him. It's just a matter of when that timing gets there and how long Willemsen can play defense for.
Willemsen jumping a little at that serve.
Yeah.
And Gibson into the net once again. 15 love for Joe Willemsen.
You saw right there Willemsen starting to play that offense really well. Really well-built offensive point, moved in, so even if Grant did get that ball, he would have had an easy volley winner.
Again, first serves really posing a problem for both of these players so far in this 2016 final. Caught it right on the baseline. Willemsen with an even better get to keep the point alive on the previous hit.
That is mentally just really difficult to deal with. I mean, you finally string together a really nice pattern, a really nice point, and then out of nowhere he manages to get there, and you make a difficult error. It's really difficult to mentally handle.
And Willemsen underneath it a little bit too much. Didn't get the lift on the ball that he wanted.
He did a really nice job in that point, though, to go from defense to offense. Great transitional play. Just an unfortunate error there. See him really take his time between points.
Wonderful little half volley by Willemsen. Gets him the point as Gibson hits it long and wide. And now he's looking at expanding his lead to 2 games here. Game point, 40-15.
Come on.
And again,
40-30.
Gibson with the winner down the line. When he hits him, he's really consistent. But
you saw him there, though. He bent over a little bit after that point. Definitely feeling.
Grimacing.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, wow.
Oh, a backhand winner off return of serve, and we're at deuce again.
Off that backhand side that I said was a liability, he's turned it into a strength. The last couple of backhand returns, he's looking really, really solid.
Ball coming very close to our broadcast vantage point here at the Barrhaven Tennis Club. Oh, wonderful play to the open court by Willemsen. The forehand volley turns out to be a big winner, and he's got the advantage.
You can see, mentioned earlier, Grant definitely grimacing, bending over, feeling it, but at the same time, Willemsen on the other side is taking a long time in between points, standing over that baseline for a while, trying to catch his breath, get some energy back. Both guys definitely feeling it right now.
And the 22-year-old from Canada holds to lead 4-2 here in the opening set.
He leads 4-2.
Not the start Grant Gibson has wanted. Part of it is definitely brought on by his own court play, but at the same time, with the exception of that first game, Willemsen's been playing phenomenally. He's executing his game plan. He definitely knows what he wants to do.
These two guys know each other very well. And Willemsen hits that one wide on the backhand. The two met in the quarterfinals in this tournament back in 2012. Gibson won in straight sets, 4-love.
And you can see at that time the Willemsen was just 18 years old, so you can see how 4 years can really change a player, and you can really improve. Definitely put a lot of work into his game. He's also physically gotten stronger.
There's another unforced error in that category again.
Those forehand shots that when he's trying to hit that ball that lands short, doesn't have that crisp sound yet. He's Just not quite hitting the ball in the right spot in the racket yet.
Oh, he knew as soon as he hit it. 40-15. And now Gibson serving to hold. And last service game for Gibson, he had a 40-love lead. And it went to 2 deuces before finally getting past Willemsen.
Out. Game Gibson.
Gibson hold serve to trail 4-3 here after another unforced error by Willemsen. Just hitting it long after a great rally. Boy, these guys trade punches quite nicely, don't they?
Oh, they both, when you watch them play, you can definitely see they both like to emanate Roger Federer with the big forehands, the one-hand backhands, big power hitters, and when they want to, they can definitely load on the ball. But at the same time, these guys play so much, they're used to that ball coming in quickly at them. So you're absolutely right. When they want to trade punches, they're two of the best that I know at doing that. What I'd like to mention, though, is you saw in that last point, Gibson hit 3 or 4 big forehands, and Willemsen, not only did he easily get to them, did just kind of floated them back. Grant Gibson kind of stayed on the baseline instead of moving in and trying to hit a volley, where it would have been an easy volley, and knowing him, he probably would have put the point away.
Joe Willemsen's rope-a-dope.
Exactly. And a couple of interesting back or volley errors from Gibson have definitely gotten into his head, and he's not as excited to come into the net and make some of those volleys. And I think Willemsen definitely knows that.
Played 7 so far in this first set. 4 of the 7 have gone to deuce. That's wide. So Joe Willemsen looking to hold and go ahead 5-3. Try and break for the set. There's the shot by Gibson, just wide on the forehand.
Like the idea of going for that shot. Execution was just a little off. Nice catch by the ball boy there.
Nice catch by the ball boy. Better serve by Willemsen. Love.
Jeez.
40 love with the first ace of the match from Joe Willemsen.
Didn't crush, just put it in a good spot, add some spin to it. Great serve.
Willemsen got Gibson on the run.
Turning clinical from Willemsen now. He's starting to slowly add in that little extra bit of offense. Forcing Gibson to start playing a little defensively, which is not his strong suit.
Gibson acknowledging his friend and the effort on the final point of the last game. Great point.
Wow.
Willemsen just taking a breather at the baseline. Wow, what a point. ends up going in Gibson's favor, but both of those players running him down.
Love.
30 love. Willemsen just long.
Again, he may have missed that, but again, it's sending a message saying if you float that ball in there, I'm going to attack it. Remember what happened last time? Then the very next serve, he double faulted.
Big serve by Gibson. 40 love.
Definitely a little sharper on that serve now than he was at the start of the match.
In the third game of this set, Gibson had a 40 love lead that he ended up winning the game, or the fourth game of the set. He ended up winning the game, but he had to go to 2 deuces to do it.
Ended up spending a lot more energy than I think he needed or wanted to just to make a simple hold in a similar situation here, it looks like.
Willemsen looks to be in control of this match right now, leading 5-3, of course, but speaking more of the play, Gibson is working a lot harder than Joe Willemsen is.
In a way, yes, he's definitely taking more of the offense, but Willemsen is running more.
Go to deuce again, a 40-15 lead to deuce. A 40 love lead to deuce.
Almost as important as break points are game points. You've got to be able to close out a game.
And now Gibson having a conversation with himself. It calls it in. Advantage, Gibson. And Gibson able to get a first serve with some velocity in at deuce to take this set to 5-4. Now Willemsen gets to serve for the set.
I've always found that, when you get the opportunity to serve first at a set, it's always better because even if you do have the break that William has, you're always a little bit closer with regards to games. One break and all of a sudden they're tied. And breaks have been quite common in this set, at least at the early part.
Both players have been able to hold serve since the opening 3 games where each player was broke. Their service broken. Willemsen with 2 breaks and Gibson with 1 to start this off. Rather ominous beginning for both of these players, but they certainly picked it up in the latter stages of this first set. You're absolutely right, Matt. They just sort of needed to fall in and find their groove.
Nerves definitely, I think, played a big part in this as well. Neither of these guys have won this tournament before, so it's a big deal when you're in the final. And
Gibson's been to the final a couple of times.
He's been to the final, but he's never won it.
Just on the end, off the end of Willemsen's racket, and he couldn't get it over on the lob attempt from Gibson.
Last couple of times Willemsen's come to that, you've seen a lot more lobs rather than.
Come on.
Oh, paints the corner. Wonderful winner there from Grant Gibson.
Sometimes it just takes a good forehand to get you going. You heard it come on after that. Let's see if you can build off it.
Now leads here in game number 10. 15-30 Willemsen. Just wide.
Second serve here. This is the big moment.
No, he didn't. He knew it. On the lob attempt, he hit it right into the smash of Joe Willemsen. 30-30. Not an abundance of winners so far in this opening set, but still great play from both of these players. Oh, Willemsen with the error.
Break point now for Gibson here. You have to think of first serve. Willemsen is an almost must if he wants to have any shot. Big serve coming up here, I think.
1 for 3 on break attempts. Make it 2 for 4. And Grant Gibson ties it up 5 apiece here in the opening set.
Interesting decision on the first serve there to kind of slow it down and try to go for the serve and volley. Obviously didn't work out too well.
So now Gibson 2 for 4 with break opportunities. And now Mo just switched jerseys. Everything moving in Grant Gibson's favor.
That's the beautiful thing about the scoring system with tennis. It's back and forth and back and forth.
That's wild.
Love 15.
And again, Gibson, the adrenaline flowing in multitudes at this point. Both of these guys just expending so much energy and just a little too much on that forehand by Gibson.
What is going on with that forehand today?
40 love.
15-30.
15-30, excuse me.
You see this a lot when the guy, when it's someone who's leading for a whole set gets broken, when all he needs to do is hold to win the set, and gets a little frustrated and comes back with a big game. I think that's exactly what you're seeing from Willemsen.
Gibson frustrated. Oh, right on the baseline. 30-30.
It was a similar shot like that, a backhand passing winner that got him going in the last game. Let's see if it'll get him going again in this game.
Great first serve. 40-30 Gibson.
This would be a huge hold here if he's able to get it.
And finishes with an ace. Great hold by Grant Gibson. And now Joe Willemsen has to hold serve to get to a 7-point tiebreak.
I mean, that is what I absolutely love about tennis, how back and forth it can be. It looked like Willemsen was moving Grant all over the court. It looked like Grant was not quite there, and then out of nowhere he makes one nice little backhand passing shot. And just like that, it's 6-5, and we're looking at another possible hold of serve to get us to that tiebreak.
4 breaks in this opening set. Mark Armstrong, the chair umpire, discussing things with both players. And the ball girls, the ball kids have to get some hydration as well because it's really warm out there for them. They're working hard.
Oh, yeah. Not a lot of shade out here on this court right now. No trees in the middle of a tennis court that can give you any shade. So you're sitting out there in the dead sun. Even if you're a ball boy or ball kid, even the referees, it's hot out there for everyone.
Yeah. I wasn't sure. I didn't speak up because I wasn't sure. Yeah. Deuce?
Oh, they're at deuce. There was a clarification. The conversation with Mark Armstrong was the fact that was the ball in or out, and that error by Willemsen gives Gibson the advantage. Back to deuce.
Willemsen putting pressure on that Gibson backhand. It's a gorgeous backhand and it's technically very sound. The problem is it takes a big windup, so a big fast-paced ball on that backhand gives him a little fits.
First serve is wide. Oh, Gibson went one way, Willemsen went the other with the ball.
Definitely not the placement I think Grant was looking for on that drop shot.
Advantage Willemsen.
Come on.
Oh, wonderful pass there by Gibson to get to deuce number 3.
Gibson.
Starting to hit the line with those serves.
Advantage Gibson again.
Thanks.
Tried the between the legs shot, did Gibson. Back to deuce again.
I can speak from experience, those shots are just too tempting to not go for sometimes.
7 of the 11 games in this set have gone to deuce. That's going to wear these guys down.
Oh, you're framing everything.
Advantage Willemsen.
Joe Willemsen with the advantage here. Looking to break and take a 6-5 lead and serve for the set. Double fault. Number 2 for Gibson to end, and Willemsen takes a 6-5 lead here in the opening set into a break, and he'll serve for the set. Now, does he go right after it here and try and catch Gibson after a little bit of a break? Sort of a mental break, too. You're not as into it first couple of points in a new game after coming off the bench.
I don't know if it's not so that you're not into it, but I think your opponent is a little bit upset, and so they start going for a little bit more, and they start maybe making adjustments that they wouldn't have made had they stayed the course and held serve. So
as physical as this game is, Matt,
absolutely.
I mean it's so much more mental as well.
You've got to have the ability of an NFL wide receiver with the mind of a pro golfer. You've got to be so mentally tough because it's just you out there. There's no coach, there's no teammates to back you up. It's just you out there. So you've got to be able to work through all these different things essentially by yourself.
So what's Gibson telling himself right now?
His timing is off. He's telling himself to, I think, to start to relax. It's a long match. There's a long way to go. But I think most importantly, he's got to get his timing. He's trying to get himself motivated and pumped up, but at the same time to relax. It's kind of an odd mix, but it's crucial if he wants to get back in this.
Joe Willemsen leads 6-5, and he'll serve for the opening set here at the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament from the Barrhaven Tennis Club. Dan Mooney, Matt Levrisen, and our entire Rogers TV crew, so pleased you could join us.
15 love.
And a good serve by Willemsen to start game number 12.
First point's always great.
Long.
30 love.
Just a bit.
Unforced errors, really the story of this first set. Some good shots, mind you, Matt, but the mistakes have created most of the scoring.
Absolutely. That's usually what happens when you go for more winners. You tend to miss a few more.
Attempted pass and the backhand volley goes into the net by Willemsen. 30-15. How did Gibson get that to the net? But Willemsen now with set point.
Good composure under pressure there. Those can be so tempting. You know, the eyes roll the back of your head and you're looking for blood, but he did well to calm, stay cool, and make a good shot.
And he serves up the ace to take the first set, 7-5. Joe Willemsen. Halfway there to a championship here at the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tournament from the Barrhaven Tennis Club. We'll take a break and be back with more after these words. Welcome back to the Barrhaven Tennis Club and the final of the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tournament. Dan Mooney alongside Matt Levrisen and our entire Rogers TV crew. So pleased that you could be here on an absolutely beautiful day. Warm, albeit, about 42 degrees on the court with the humidex and the conductivity. But Joe Willemsen didn't let that bother him in the first set, and he won it 7-5. Willemsen coming into this final as the 7th seed. Grant Gibson, number 2. Joe Willemsen changed his shirt, wearing the black top now.
Interesting choice in the heat.
Great serve.
More than likely a factor of something being clean and dry.
Something tells me you're absolutely right there, Dad. I'd also like to mention, I believe they're using new balls as well.
New balls every set here in the championship final.
You see the new ball definitely takes him getting used to. That ball flew on grid. I don't think he was expecting that.
That was long, the lob.
15-40.
15-40. And another break opportunity here for Joe Willemsen, 2 for 2 on break points so far. Another second serve coming up for Gibson. And there's the break. Willemsen 3 for 3. And he leads the second set 1-0.
I've seen this somewhere before. I'm not sure where.
The opening set here in this 2016 final. Started with 3 breaks. Gibson started, Willemsen broke him, Gibson broke Willemsen, Willemsen broke Gibson back, and then they held serve.
Absolutely.
Until the penultimate game in that first set.
Yeah, and the couple breaks at the end of the set there that ended up deciding it. I'm looking at Grant play, and he's not as sharp as he usually is, and I'm wondering if part of that has to do with Willemsen getting to so many shots. Grant really needs to go a little closer to the line, hit the ball a little bit harder than he might be comfortable with, and that's what's drawing a lot of these errors.
So Joe Willemsen, after winning the first set 7-5, will serve for the first time here in set number 2. A lot of the pundits around here were saying that we're going to give the edge to Gibson before this one began.
15 love.
Absolutely, but it looks like it's shaping up a little differently than we were thinking. And that's a testament to how great these guys are.
All.
15 all.
A rare backhand error from Willemsen. That slice has been incredibly dependable so far today.
Great. Takes Gibson wide, and the third ace of the match for Willemsen gives him a 30-15 lead. Just wide on the volley attempt, so unforced error number 15 on the match for Joe Willemsen. But he's coming to net.
He's coming to net, and I think that's a sign of the fatigue. He's trying to end points a little quicker.
Long.
30-40.
And now Gibson with a break opportunity of his own here to start the second set. Oh, beautiful pass. Return of serve by Grant Gibson, and he's got a break.
I may be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure the break in the second set came at 30-40. Or in the first set there early, so.
One game all.
Definitely following a pattern here. I don't know if Grant likes the pattern. You might want to have to try something to change it.
Just short of cresting over the tape. Gibson with just a single ace on the match. And that one just shy.
15 all.
Just long. So another unforced error by Willemsen. And getting into the dog points of this match. Unbelievable get by Willemsen, but he can't do it twice in a row.
And at some point with the heat today and the amount of times you guys have played, you have to wonder if maybe at some point he's going to start letting those first smashes go. He's so far behind the point. We haven't seen anybody miss a smash yet today.
Ace number 3 for Gibson to hold serve and lead 2-1 here in the second set.
Leads 2-1, second set.
So Gibson turning it around after being broken in the opening game of the set.
I think he's definitely starting to face reality where if he wants to win the set, no matter how badly he may want to think otherwise, he's going to have to play more longer points. He can't be going for the ball as quickly or as early as he was in that second set, which is why I think he had so many unforced errors. He's got to slow that ball down, find the corners, move it back and forth. He may not like to hear that given the conditions, but unfortunately that's the way I think that's it's going to have to work for him. Willemsen has been playing a ton of offense. And so if I were Gibson, I would say, let's see what you have.
Yeah, get a shot of this guy in the white shirt bringing the water over. There you see Claude LeBlanc in the white shirt directly under the chair of umpire Mark Armstrong. Claude, Phil's dad, and huge marks going out to the LeBlanc family. Every year they do this for the Canadian Tire Jumpstart program that helps underprivileged kids get involved in sport. And Claude and son Pat, daughter Melanie, wife Lynn, just wonderful folks. And each and every year they do this to give back to their community and pay tribute to a wonderful guy that was just taken from all of us too early.
Absolutely. I had the pleasure of actually being able to play in the tournament this year, and like you said, full marks, exceptionally well-run tournament. It was a ton of fun.
Oh, great pass there. Grant Gibson has come to play here in this second set.
See how long he can maintain this form.
There's Pat LeBlanc, Phil's brother, and oh, wonderful backhand pass by Gibson.
Love 30.
Love 30, and Willemsen looking for his second wind here. Gibson called it out.
3 break points now for Gibson.
Willemsen goes to net. Gibson sends him away and wins the point with a top spin pass.
Interesting. Willemsen definitely looked like he was trying to play a little bit more offense there, and Gibson played great counter offense. Waited for Willemsen to make the first move and then made a couple of really nice passing shots. Maybe got a little bit lucky there on that lob, but.
And more importantly, broke Joe Willemsen to lead 3-1 here in set number 2.
Great start. Let's see if he can build with the momentum here. He definitely needs to. The quicker he can win this second set, the more energy he's going to have for that big third.
Unforced errors beginning to pile up for Willemsen, now at 18. Gibson at 22. Oh, Gibson just leapt into that one.
He is really feeling it right now.
Leading 30 love. Watch, he leaves his feet here. Boom.
A little Pete Sampras in him right there.
Oh, Gibson with Willemsen on the run.
This is
Leads
clinical
40
now.
love.
This is getting clinical. And you see he's not pounding the ball, but he's placing the ball in really tight spots, forcing William to run farther than he was earlier.
Game point here for Gibson.
Game, Gibson.
The serve was in, so Gibson on 4 straight points leads
Gibson leads
4-1.
First set, Willemsen.
Willemsen won the first set 7-5, and Grant Gibson making very, very short work of this second stanza.
I think the adjustment that he's made with what I just mentioned, where instead of trying to plow the ball past the baseline, is saying, okay, Willemsen, if you want to run, by all means, go ahead and run. But I'm not going to miss anymore. He's hitting a lot more angles. He's putting a little more topspin on the ball, giving himself a little bit more room for error. And I think Willemsen has seen that and maybe think, okay, I got to start playing more offense, and it's not quite working out for him yet. I think Grant made a very wise adjustment there, and it's definitely working out for him so far.
I would have thought if you're a part of Joe Willemsen's camp, you wouldn't want to go to a third set against Grant Gibson.
Absolutely not, especially considering you had that long match this morning. He's got to get it done in 2. But that begs the question, do you put everything you have in this set, or do you maybe give it to him so you save energy for the third?
This is the strategy in double fault, number 3 for Joe Willemsen.
He's got a big serve, but he utilizes a lot of energy for every serve he hits.
Great pass, despite the effort by Willemsen.
Grant's looking a lot more comfortable out there. See a couple extra seconds here. Willemsen's taking just to try to catch his breath, get a little bit of that energy back. Also maybe to disrupt the timing.
Yeah, nice.
15-30.
15-30. Willemsen taking his time at the baseline, getting set for his serve. Just preserve as much energy as he possibly can.
Nice serve.
30 all.
Just long.
I think a large part of it has to do as well is if you start trying to serve a little bit quicker. Grant's been in an incredible rhythm the last few games, and I think the slower pace is a method to try to.
Now Willemsen with Gibson on the run.
40-30.
Leads 4-30, down 30-15 at one point, now leads 40-30. And serving to hold. Oh, lots of juice on that one. And the resulting return of serve went out of the park.
Yeah, and a lot of that had to do with the speed of the serve, not much with what the returner was doing.
It's 4-2 here, and return of serve. I mean, these guys have so much on it. It's just basically get a racket on it to get it back to return it.
Absolutely, it's almost like a catch and throw back motion. You really can't have much of a swing.
Oh, Gibson, the clinician at work.
The best returners in the world tend to, just hit consistent returns deep in the court. They don't tend to have a ton of pace on them. It's just trying to get the ball deep and trying to get the offensive serving player moving backwards.
Willemsen with some shoe difficulties as the ball that was
Stay there, I might do it again.
hit out of the park.
That's like jackpot. 300. Nope, back.
Another error by Gibson, or by Joe Willemsen.
But again, I think a worthwhile error, simply because it kind of sending that message where if you float that up, I'm going to go for it, and I'm not always going to miss. A lot of mind games in tennis, and you're definitely seeing that here.
First serve long. Second serve, 30 love.
No, just wide.
Called it wide. 40 love. So Gibson, 4 straight points in his last service game to win. 4 straight points in this service game to win, leading 5-2.
That's a big deal when you know there's a very good chance this is going to go to a third set. Spending as little energy per game as possible is huge, and those 2 big holds are certainly going to help him when we get to that third set. Right now it looks like Willemsen is showing a much more signs of fatigue than Gibson is. And I think that has a lot to do with how defensive he played in the first set.
Well, you talked earlier about the strategy now. What do I do? Trailing 5-2 in the second, just coast in the 6th game, or do I work my butt off to get back into this set and do it now, or preserve your energy, take a little bit of a breather, and come back fresh in the third?
When it was back to 4-2, I would have said you got to do everything you can to get this done in 2. You don't want this to go to a third set now, it being 5-2 or 5-3. Sorry, I think it becomes a situation where I think it becomes a situation where maybe you do, maybe not drop serve, but maybe not put as much effort into as you would. Try to reserve everything you can. 4-2 is one thing to come back from. 5-2 is a whole other monster. So we'll see how much effort he puts into this game. Knowing him, I'm sure he'll go for it.
Let first service.
Certainly didn't let up on that serve.
He's had some difficulty with his first serves here in this championship final. Oh, and Gibson catches Willemsen going the wrong way.
And you saw there, serve and volley is a way to end points quickly. If he loses this game, but serve and volley does give him a good chance to win it.
Just long by Gibson. 5 apiece here in game number 8 of set number 2. Great serve and a better get by Gibson, but he can't return the overhead smash from Joe Willemsen.
This is good stuff from Willemsen. He's ending the points quickly, and he's not spending a ton of energy on them. Smart, strategic move by Willemsen so far.
First overhead smash not to score in this match. Just a tad long was Joe Willemsen, and fatigue really starting to show on the 22-year-old. First service.
Out. 40-30.
40-30. Now Willemsen with a game point. First serve into the net. Gibson will move up. Oh, and the backhand pass beyond Willemsen, and we get to deuce.
That backhand return certainly not looking like a liability right now. It's looking like a weapon.
Oh, gets that one by him as well. Advantage, Gibson. Oh, it was out. Advantage Willemsen.
Is it out by much?
Oh, Gibson into the net. And Willemsen extends this second set 5-3, and Gibson will serve for the set to go to a third and final one.
You can see Willemsen, he's crouching over back there in the corner. Definitely feeling it. Spent a lot of energy on that hold. You wonder if maybe if it was worth it.
Joe Willemsen, 22 years old. Grant Gibson, 27 years old. Big mistake. Willemsen knew it.
Love.
30 love.
First serve percentage for Gibson has definitely gone up at the tail end of this set. He's taking a little bit off it and is placing it beautifully.
Yeah, he's come out with a different attitude here in set number 2. First service, just net cord there. Yeah, just a different player here in set number 2.
Absolutely.
First serves are going in, and Joe Willemsen looks like he's pretty content to go into a break and come out fresh in set number 3.
I can't blame him.
Oh, Willemsen comes to the net to end the point quickly. 40-15. This is the third time that, or fourth time actually, that there it is. Set number 2 is in the book. A 6-3 win for Gibson. And this championship is going to be settled by a third and final set. It should be interesting. Grant Gibson, Joe Willemsen in the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament Championship Final right here on Rogers TV. Set number 3 coming up. Don't go anywhere, folks. Memorial Tennis Tournament, Dan Mooney and Matt Lafrison, along with our entire Rogers TV crew. So pleased that you could be here. An absolutely gorgeous day. Joe Willemsen winning the first set 7-5. Grant Gibson coming back to win the second 6-3, and Willemsen will start off the third. Gibson can't handle it. 15 love.
One.
15 apiece.
If you don't believe us how hot it is, you can see even some of the fans who have been sitting in the sun the whole match have decided to move to the fence where there is a little bit of relief in the shade. So even the fans are having a difficult time managing these warm conditions.
Great serve.
Great serve there by Willemsen for ace number 4. The lead 30-15. Here in the opening game of the third and final set. Double fault. Number 4 for Willemsen.
Nothing worse than double fault after an ace. Takes out any possibility of gaining momentum.
And removes your swagger. And Joe Willemsen finishes off and leads 1-love here in the third and final set. This will decide the 2016 champion. Grant Gibson has been to the final on 2 separate occasions and has yet to walk away with hardware. Looking for it. He figures third time might be a charm.
It looks like that could certainly be a possibility. He's still got a long way to go. Every minute in heat like this feels like a 10 minutes. Certainly a long way to go, but based on what we saw in that second set, he's looking very sharp. We'll see if he's able to continue that as he gets set to serve.
Joe Willemsen's best performance was a semi-final appearance a couple of years back here in this tournament. Willemsen a little long. Didn't like his balance on that forehand, on that ground stroke.
No, he certainly wasn't set for it, and you can tell he knows it.
Joe Willemsen up 1-love. Grant Gibson serving here in game number 2 of the third and final set. And Joe Willemsen can't get to it. Grant Gibson keeps him running.
Yeah, that was the big difference in the first set. He would have tried to hit that ball through the baseline. On that one, you saw him go for the angle. And I think that was the big adjustment he's made. And it's paid off, obviously, very well for him.
Willemsen going to the towel again, just to slow things down. Oh, wonderful volley. Into the body, too, and he's still able to get a racket on it, some spin, and a beautiful winner.
Excellent, excellent touch there. You can see Willemsen kind of laughing a little bit. There was not much more he could have done there.
Oh, nice grab. Matty got a touch.
Wasn't a good enough one.
So Gibson wins game number 2, and Joe Willemsen will attempt to stay on serve. Oh, now Joe Willemsen has Gibson on the fly.
Beautifully executed point.
Blows the winner by him. 8 winners on the afternoon for Willemsen. No way that Joe was going to get to that one as Gibson just overhand smash once again.
You can tell he's feeling good when he hit the ball that hard, when he maybe didn't really need to.
15 apiece.
Come on.
And there's a mistake by Willemsen.
30.
A little heavy on the volley.
Ball coming.
Yep.
Big point here.
Come on.
Beautiful forehand, topspin forehand winner by Gibson. 15-30. And there's a look at our vantage point. Hi, folks. Welcome to the Barrhaven Tennis Club and the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Championship. Oh, Joe comes up short off the tape. And now, 2 break points here for Grant Gibson in the third set. Takes a water break.
No, I believe that's
a game.
He gets the break.
He does get the break. 5 of 7 successful break attempts by Grant Gibson, and he leads 2-1. And started pulling away in that second set after Willemsen won the first 7-5. He was up 4-1 at one point in that second set, and Willemsen just basically rode it out to set up this third. And now it looks as if Grant Gibson is starting to pull away a little.
He's absolutely starting to pull away, and I think it has a lot to do with the fact that he looks a lot more comfortable out there. He's a little bit more relaxed. He's not going for as much of a shot. He's almost in a way doing what Joe did in the first set, where it was moving him around and just trying to wait for the mistake. And now it looks like he's, hitting the ball to the corners, hitting with angle. He's doing the same thing that Joe did in the first set. Let's see if he can keep it going.
Wonderful forehand pass by Willemsen. And Grant Gibson acknowledging the great effort as well. Willemsen unable to handle that serve. Gibson not happy with himself, trailing here in game number 4 of set number 3, 15-30. And Willemsen hits that off the composite.
Yeah, not usually the part of the racket you want to hit that ball with.
Great pass again by Gibson, 40-15. Looking to hold serve here and break it wide open. And Joe Willemsen pumping himself up.
He's going to need to. Had a couple of really strong shots in this game. At the same time, he's had a couple of mental errors. A little all over the place.
That deuce. Advantage Willemsen.
I feel like I'd be in the right mind to say this might just be the most important point of the match.
Didn't get it. Bounced twice. Back to deuce.
Takes a lot of confidence in himself to hit a drop volley in that situation. And he executed it beautifully.
Fatigue beginning to set in for both of these players.
It's long.
Long advantage Gibson. First service long. And that was wide, back to deuce. Deuce number 3.
Put a lot of effort into that point and just missed that one by half an inch.
No, I know. Well, he was right on it, too.
Off the tape. Advantage Gibson once again. And new balls here in the third set. Things are a little more lively and takes a little bit more to get to those balls moving so quickly on this hard court surface. Off the tape again, Game Gibson. He holds serve and leads 3-1.
He leads 3-1.
I think at this point in the match, we're starting to see not necessarily physical errors, but I think these are more mental errors from Willemsen. Maybe not feeling very comfortable, or maybe again, like we said, the heat getting now to his mind. He's definitely going to need to make an adjustment. What that adjustment is, we'll have to wait and see.
Holding serve is paramount here as he's long there, love 15.
I could not agree more, and these are two guys that don't tend to have too much issue holding serve, but at the same time are very strong with the return. So we're seeing today, at least I think the return has been dominant.
15-all.
No way Gibson could get that one back.
Did a great job just to get there.
Come on.
15-30.
Point for Gibson there on the half volley return.
He's definitely got a sense as to where his Willemsen serve's going. He's got a beat on it, that's for sure.
Oh, are you serious? Come on.
Gibson not happy with himself after that. That's unforced error number 31 on the match.
That's a little higher than his number in the semifinal, which was 9.
Yeah, I just really took care of Nathan Smith, 2-1.
Absolutely. It wasn't not close. A great match nonetheless, but...
Another double fault there for Joe Willemsen. Number 5 for Joe in this match. Oh, Joe Willemsen back and forth, to and fro, comes up with a ball that Gibson didn't have an answer for.
That point changed offense and defense 4 or 5 times. I couldn't tell you who was leading in that point right up until the final ball was hit. And those type of points are a lot of fun to win, but boy, do they suck to lose.
Willemsen taking his time. Gets it to deuce. Another break opportunity there. Lost for Grant Gibson. 5 of 8 on the match. Beautiful serve for ace number 5 for Joe Willemsen. And advantage here.
Advantage, Willemsen.
He needs to hold serve.
Way out there.
Off the tape, and Joe Willemsen holds serve here to trail 3-2 in the third and final set.
Gibson leads 3-2, final set.
Looks like both of these guys are doing everything they can. They're trying to empty the tank, that's for sure. It's the finals. You don't want to leave anything out there on the court, and it doesn't look like these guys are trying. They're putting everything they have into every ball. Willemsen making an interesting adjustment. I noticed he not necessarily trying to crush the ball as much, but definitely trying to play a little bit more offense. I think the winner of this match is the guy that's going to probably work the hardest on offense. Not necessarily run as many balls down, but...
Joe's made an adjustment with his hair, too.
Oh, my goodness. Definitely letting it fly. Well, I don't know. How do you feel about that?
It is a statement. And he just walked by his mom, and he just poured some water on his head to cool down here. Joe Willemsen, 22 years old, from Carp. Attended All Saints Catholic High School in Canada. And now, 4 years removed from a quarterfinal match in this tournament against Grant Gibson. He's in the thick of it here, trailing 3-2 in the third and final set of this 2016 championship final of the Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament from the Barhaven Tennis Club. Dan Mooney, Matt Lavryson, and our entire Rogers TV crew on a blistering hot day here in the south end of the nation's capital, enjoying it and enjoying bringing this championship final into your homes.
Now another interesting, the mind games again. Grant Gibson made an very close to breaking in that last game. Willemsen taking an extra long time on the changeover, maybe trying to let that sink in a little bit, trying to get inside the head of Gibson. I think at this point, both guys are going to try whatever it takes to get that mental edge.
Joe's turned the hat around, and almost like a bit of a rally cap here.
Come on, swing up, please, Joe. 15, love.
Pleading with himself to swing up, and as you get more tired, it's just more and more difficult to do that as Gibson just gives one right back to him.
Yeah. Usually when the ball is that low and the ball goes into the net, it's not an issue swinging up. It's that the racket itself didn't get down enough.
It's a great shot, Joe.
Oh, wonderful backhand pass by Willemsen on the run. Able to get it past Gibson.
Good approach from Gibson, but like you said, that's just, there's nothing you can do about that if you're Gibson. Just a wonderful pass.
That's long.
30 all.
Unforced errors, the order of the day here on both sides of the net. 32 for Gibson and 28 for Willemsen.
That last one, Willemsen, he got there, but he didn't quite bring the racket back in time, so he ended up making contact a little bit late.
And it's interesting that you mentioned earlier in the semifinal against Nathan Smith, which he won 2-1, just 9 unforced errors in the entire match.
Yeah, but at the same time, with the fewer unforced errors, he also only had 12 winners. So he did a really nice job of putting the game on his opponent's racket and hitting his winners, but making sure that they were at the right time. And we've seen him do that a lot more here in the second and third sets.
He's leading in that category too, 17-10. Again, Willemsen forced to reach back, and it goes off the end of the racket just short.
The lob today for Gibson has been on point. He has not left very many of them hanging for Willemsen. He's got quite a few winners off of that lob.
Deuce. Into the net, advantage Willemsen. So Willemsen with a break. He's had 3 specific opportunities to break in this match, and he's been successful on all 3. This the 4th of the afternoon.
Let's go!
4 for 4. And we're tied at 3 here in the third and final set. Threes are wild.
I'll tell you one thing. I think we all need to strap in. These guys look like they're both starting to come into form. That was a wonderfully played point from Willemsen. 2 breaks in this last set. They're tied up. This could be interesting. Well, actually, I almost guarantee you it's going to be interesting.
And Willemsen pumped too.
Oh, well, I mean, you have to be. You get that big break in the 3rd set to get back even. I mean, I would be worried if he wasn't pumped up.
No. Just long.
And Willemsen long. As important as his last service game was to hold, this, now being tied at 3, is so much more important to stay on serve.
As the games progress, every game's going to get more and more and more important.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, he likes that one, painting the corner.
Grant needs to be careful here. Willemsen's strung together a couple of really nice points.
You only hit lines, huh? I wanted both the lines.
Just long. And you know Gibson's going to move up to the baseline now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Another double fault.
15-30.
6 for Willemsen. 15-30 now.
That is a huge momentum killer. To give away a free point like that is difficult to come back from.
And every point has so much more import now the later we get into this match.
Wasn't that a let? No? No.
I didn't hear it.
Okay. I thought I saw a let.
30 all.
I don't think so.
30-30.
Thought it was a let.
Gibson thought it was a let.
No, no, no.
And Willemsen hits that into the net.
Right now, Gibson's playing very smart tennis. Every ball he hits, he's not hitting with a ton of pace, but he's hitting it so that it lands deep in the court. It is near impossible to play proper offense when that ball is landing that deep, and so he's buying his time waiting for his opportunity. And he's hitting easy shots.
Another break point here for Grant Gibson. Willemsen to serve into the net. And another error by Willemsen. And there's another game for Gibson as he breaks.
Again, I think once again we're seeing the lob is a big factor for Gibson. Gave him the opportunity to stay in that point.
6 of 9 with an opportunity to steal this afternoon and leading 4-3 in the third. The 6 of 9 might just be the difference.
I think you're absolutely right. I still think, again, we're getting closer there, but there's still so much more tennis to play. This set's been very, very back and forth. These guys, as much as this is a physical battle, mentally they're making adjustments. They're trying to throw off each other's rhythm. But I think what's most important to note above everything is that they're still very happy. They're still very lighthearted. They're not as intense as you usually used to see in a moment like this because they're such close friends, and you can see above everything, above all the pressure and all the competitiveness, they're overall having a ton of fun out there, which I think is important.
And really enjoying the battle that they're engaged in.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, there's no way that Willemsen was going to get to that overhand smash by Gibson. He leads 15-love.
That's great athleticism to get up there and hit that hard of a ball at this point in the match.
And Willemsen long once again. 30-love here for Gibson as he can see the finish line here.
Absolutely. A big hold here. Gotta keep his head in it. Can't let little things bother him.
Unforced errors starting to take their toll.
Just like they did in the first set to Gibson, it's starting to happen now to Willemsen.
Oh, great pass by Willemsen. He's not going away, Matty.
No, I mean, this is, a situation where I think he's going to start putting everything he's got into every ball. Whatever that is he has left.
Game Gibson leading 5-3. And Willemsen will serve to stay alive.
Now is when I think we're really going to get a great look at Gibson's mental toughness. He's so close, but at the same time, the way these guys are playing, he's still quite far away. I think the first point in this game is crucial.
Again, first service has been a bit of a thorn in Joe Willemsen's side today. Painted the baseline there to lead 15-love.
Got it back. What? I got it back.
Oh, drops in. Grant Gibson has everything going for him here in the third and final set.
That's an unbelievable shot. Landing inside the line. Really tall. Not a single thing Willemsen can do about that.
Go.
30-15.
Gibson didn't like that, the way it came off his rocket. (30-15). Willemsen serving to stay alive. Oh, great net play, but long for Joe Willemsen.
Gibson just kept putting pressure on him to hit a great volley, and he was just unable to come up with it. Gibson shortening the strokes up enough that he could get enough pace on it to cause problems for Willemsen, but at the same time, not risk flying the ball out.
Just wide. And Gibson couldn't believe that he had just too much purchase on that shot.
Can you tell they're having fun out there?
Yeah, they're really enjoying themselves, aren't they? 40-30. Willemsen stays alive. It's 5-4. And Grant Gibson will serve for the championship.
Great stuff so far. I am so looking forward to this final game. And we mentioned it earlier, but these guys are having so much fun, and I think that really helps settle the nerves. You know, if you're looking over the other side of the net, and you're seeing a guy who's intense, who's, dialed in, it throws you up. But when you look over and you see a friend who's having just as much fun, maybe even more fun than you are, it certainly helps calm you down. And I think it's really helping Grant close this out. We're going to see how well he finishes off the serve.
Well, let's see whether, this day has been a day of breaks with 10 altogether. 10 breaks of serve in the match for both of these players. Here's the last point.
Let's take a look at this on a replay here. Just back and forth. Just enough pace on these balls to cause the error from Willemsen. Just kept himself alive for long enough.
Gibson opens the first serve into the net. Love 15. Well, Joe Willemsen is playing for a break here. He's got to be a little bit more aggressive here in this game.
Absolutely. If you get the feeling that if he's going to lose this game, it's going to be on his racket, not on Grant's.
Love 15. Just out. 15 apiece. And now, things get a little more cerebral than physical, I would think.
Absolutely. At this point, you guys aren't even feeling it.
Come on. Oh, you don't serve them up like that. Gibson will eat those all day.
And he has. And he has eaten those all day. At this point in a match, your body almost isn't feeling it. You're almost numb to all the exhaustion. You're just trying to do whatever you can. So you're absolutely right. It becomes completely mental here.
And Willemsen, another error at the net.
40-15.
40-15. Championship point here for Grant Gibson. And he'll have at least 2. Oh, what a lovely half volley.
Wow.
Oh, no! Willemsen doing everything he possibly can at the net to get it over, but it doesn't go, and Grant Gibson is the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tournament champion. Third time was a charm, Matt.
But to say, you mentioned he needed 2 of those break points. It looks like you only needed 1 of them.
There
when
you
can
go.
When you can hit defensive half volleys like that, that was an exceptional way to finish off that match.
So, Grant Gibson will walk away the champion. Joe Willemsen, in his first final appearance here at the Phil LeBlanc, gave a valiant effort, but just not enough on this day.
It was a phenomenal match all the way. You mentioned the unforced errors. Usually unforced errors mean a poor quality match, but this was phenomenal tennis. The unforced errors were caused simply by the fact that these 2 guys were just getting to everything, and we watched that final point, an unbelievable get, and there's so much spin on that ball. You see Willemsen, he gets that ball, but it's so close to the net, there is absolutely nothing he could do. Even if he gets that ball over, he runs to the net, he would have lost the point anyways.
Well, Willemsen didn't have to go far, and Grant Gibson didn't have to go far to shake hands.
It almost looked like Grant was holding him up from falling down there, but you can see after such a hard match, both guys still really close.
A great match. So Grant Gibson, your 2016 champion, with a 5-7, 6-3, 6-4 victory over Joe Willemsen. We'll catch up with the champion after the break. You're watching the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament right here on Rogers TV. Welcome back to the Barrhaven Tennis Club, here with 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament champion Grant Gibson, after a 5-7, 6-3, 6-4 win over Joe Willemsen. And congratulations. 36 degrees with the Humidex, about 5 or 6 degrees hotter out here on this hard court surface. What was it like out there for you?
Well, I coach a lot of tennis, so I'm out on the court a lot, so I really wasn't that tired. That wasn't a factor for me.
Got off to a bit of a slow start, 3 breaks in a row to start this match. What do you attribute that to?
I think the speed of these courts is the main problem for me. I was struggling. He was changing the speed of the ball a lot, and I was just struggling to find timing, and I was missing a lot of forehands, and I don't know, I just started slowing it down after that. Well, yeah.
You didn't have a lot of momentum in that first set, but you came back, you won 3 games in a row, but you ended up losing the set 7-5. You come back in the second set, and it's just cruise control.
Yeah, well, I started finding the timing. I started hitting a few more winners. The forehand was a little bit more controlled. I started serving a little bit better. I still didn't serve that well the entire match, but yeah, I just felt like I found the rhythm, the timing, and then, yeah, felt more comfortable.
And what was your mindset after winning the second, going into the third, knowing full well that you know Joe so well, you know his game so well, you've played in this tournament before, albeit 4 years ago, but going into the third set, after coming back, what was in your mind?
Well, like you said, I know Joe's game pretty well, so I know if I keep it to his backhand and I play consistently enough, I should be good, and I had the momentum going into that third set, so I felt pretty good. I felt like if I played well, I could take it, so, and I'm glad I did.
Let's talk about that final point, that half volley that just got over the net.
Incredibly lucky one, you mean?
Well, I'm just, there's an incredible amount of skill involved, but there's also a tremendous amount of luck. This is your 3rd time in the final in this tournament. It was enough to get you across the board 3 times the charm.
For sure. I just didn't want to play a tiebreaker, so I decided to hit that shot.
Good. That's your story, and you're sticking to it.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Grant Gibson, the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament champion. Congratulations, Grant, on your win. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. For all of us here at Rogers TV, I'm Dan Mooney. Thank you so much for the company. So long from the Barrhaven Tennis Club and the 2016 Phil LeBlanc Memorial Tennis Tournament.